Yo. Welcome
Sir.
back
Yep.
to the show. Welcome back to the show. We back here at the Crash Out League TV. It's your host, A-Dub, and I'm with my partner in crime, Manny. And today, we got a lot of things to report to you guys. There's some crazy stuff that went down in this league that I feel like y'all gonna find interesting. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get straight into it, Manny.
Welcome in, episode 8. For those keeping
Mm-hmm.
count at home, episode 8, man. So once
Mm-hmm.
again,
Mm-hmm.
so happy that you're here to join us. Now, go ahead. Let's check out this fantasy recap. And there were some plenty of big games. Ada, pull up the scores for us, please.
Got you.
There it is. There it is. Hey, now check it out. We had some bangers this week.
Bangers. Nothing
Running,
but bangers.
running back, Smooth Criminal, getting locked up with each other. That only a 6-point difference. The win goes to Coach Jay Gibb. Mills Mafia finally turns the corner a little bit, gets his win after dropping 2 straight, putting up a 133, but almost fell to Team DMV Bombers, still looking for their first win of the season. Further down, the undefeated finally falls. God bless
Mm.
Comerica loses to Team Fabo 154-78. Don't worry, we'll talk about that 78 later. We'll pick up on
you,
that just a
you
little
best
bit.
believe we gonna talk about
Don't worry
that.
about it. We're not gonna skip over
You
that.
best believe we gonna
We'll talk about that one.
that.
But certainly, what was game of the week? 102 to 101. You see it there. That one came down to the wire, and I mean literally to the last few seconds of the Chiefs game on Monday
Mm-hmm.
Night Football. But Coach Cam picks up the win and now has himself a winning record above 500, 3-2. Shake and Bake also at 3-2, but certainly could have gone up and been at 4-1 and been tied up for that top spot. But he falls nonetheless. And then in our final game, wrapping it up, 122-146. Team Luck picks up the win after a wonderful interview that we had last week. A-Dub, those are our fantasy recap scores.
Yeah, it's a lot to talk about here. It's a lot of stuff to get into, and we're gonna get into it. It's just what else can you ask to be a part of when it comes to being in a fantasy league? You know,
Big
there's a lot
time.
of
Yeah.
teams beating up on each other right now. There's no clear dominant team at the moment, as you can see what Manny just said. There's no longer any undefeated teams left here in this
Mm-mm.
league, and the undefeated team
Yep.
that's been dominated got dominated. Pause. No Diddy. You know what I mean? So it's just you never know what can happen in a fantasy league, and this week is a
Yeah.
perfect example of that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's for sure. Now, we go ahead and move on to our games of the week. We had 2 different ones. So
Mm-hmm.
I will go ahead and go with mine first. I believe I had Mo City Menace
Uh-huh.
versus Team Luck. And this was my game of the week. Now, it didn't shape up to be as close as what we thought it would have been, but I had Team Luck because, hey, that man was ready to play. And sure enough, came out, put up almost 150. And if I'm looking here, sure enough, he would have beaten every single other person except for one in the league. So a big time win for Coach Lucky over there with Team Luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to Coach. My team of the week, I went with Team Fuck 'em versus Team MB. It wasn't the most prettiest game. It wasn't
Mm-mm.
the most high scoring game. You know, both of these organizations barely eclipse 100 points, which is what it goes back
Yeah.
to previous weeks of Coach Luck saying that Coach MB just catches guys who has low scoring weeks and ends up just outscoring them just by a little bit. Now, in terms of events for this week, it was the other way around. It literally came down to the last second of the game. Kareem Hunt running out the clock, giving enough
Yep.
yards, just to get past Team Shake and Bake and Coach MB to get the win this week. I chose Coach Cam because I believe he is the type of coach that can step up to the plate and take on a coach like this. He didn't perform how I thought he was going to perform, but at the end of the day, a win is a win in the win
Wins a
column.
win. Yep. 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 Very nice from both of us. A-Dub, go both picking up some winners on our games of the week.
I think this is the
Now
first
we
week we
got to
done
go and
that. Hold on, Manny. I
I
think this
think
is the
so.
first
Very
week
nice
we
job from
done
us.
that.
Very
Man,
nice job.
I think we get
Now
pretty good at our job.
we have I think we're getting pretty good as well. And we have now turned to somebody who did their job this week.
Come
Upset of the
on.
week,
Come on.
and it's Team Fabo
Come
knocking off God Bless Comerica. I mean,
on. Man.
this is exactly what it's called. It's an upset. Certainly. I mean, you have somebody who's coming into this one 4-0, and they just fall. I mean, they simply just fall. And I mean, at this point, there's not much to say except congratulations to Team Fabo putting up 154, the most points in the league this week.
Shout out Coach
Big time
Fabo.
game. Big time game
Big
from
time.
Team Fabo.
It's just, it's a tough pill to swallow if you Coach
It
Mike
is.
over there. God bless Comerica, but you gotta give the praise and you know what I'm saying. The gratitude to Coach over there on Team Fabo is just when it's your week, it's your week. And honestly
Yeah.
speaking,
Yeah.
Manny, even if Mike played his best game and rearranged his players just a little bit, the maximum amount of
Mm.
points he could have put up this week was 84 points. 84.
Wow.
That's it. That's the highest that he could have put. He
Woo.
couldn't even eclipse 100
It
points this
wasn't going to
week.
touch him.
And
Nope.
like I said last week, why I chose this team as upset of the week, this is a perfect week for Coach Fabo, even though he went beyond what he was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Mike didn't have St. Brown or Jameson Williams this week. And that really showed when he came to his
Yeah.
roster, putting up points this
Yeah.
week and asking other guys to step up for him, and they just couldn't fill those shoes.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing, right, is there's a couple of things that are really, really impressive. One is that performance by Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I mean, they lit up the scoreboard. Joe Burrow himself had nearly a 40 bomb. Jamar Chase eclipsed 40 points. Big time performance from him. But as well, you got to give a shout out to the kid out in Washington.
Mm.
He has been playing lights out. If you want to go back up to the top, Jaden Daniels is really starting to put it together out there in DC. And
He's
sure
that guy.
enough, the points are starting to flow through. Nearly 20 for him this week, beating Josh Allen, and then again, Kamara just not as effective as he has been previously. Wasn't the PPR demon that we've seen so many times, although he did have 6 receptions for 40 yards. Kyle Walker gets it done as well. 7 receptions, 57 yards. 5 carries, 19 yards. But it doesn't matter. He's got the points, and he's in there.
Yeah.
So,
You
once again,
know,
huge win by Team Fable.
and Coach Mike, all you gotta do is take it to the chin, move on, forget about it. It was a terrible week for you, but you should be happy that you got it now rather than later. But
Yep.
speaking on Coach Mike, you know what I mean? We gotta have a crash out for this week. And
Gotta have a crash out.
it's
It's
obviously
Coach Mike.
who it has to be.
It's Coach Mike. There's nobody else. There's nobody else.
Nobody else.
I think it's actually no. I'm kidding. It's Coach Mike. I mean, again, like you talk about, get it out now, right? Get your bad game out now. Memory of a goldfish. Take it out, throw it away, attack the next week as well as you can. But this is going to be something that we're going to see with a lot of other squads. Is the fact that bye weeks are going to start rolling out pretty soon, as they already are. And this is going to really start affecting some teams. That one guy that was your workhorse, who's always got you, he's sitting out. And now you got to find somebody. So are you going to pivot and go to the go to the waiver wire and see if you can find that hidden gem for just 1 week. Are you going to try to make a trade? Maybe see if you got another piece that's just sitting on the bench who's been performing well, but not good enough to get into your starting lineup. Okay, you know what? I might trade him away. Or you say, you know what? I got a guy on the bench. He's due for a big game. Let's see if we can put him in. So, again, as these bye weeks really start coming through, we're going to start seeing some teams start to struggle. And again, in the Crash Out League, you got to be able to adapt. So, to Coach Mike, you're the crash out. 78.14 points is not going to win you any games here.
At
it's
all.
just not. But
At all.
Nonetheless, got to move on. Got to figure out the next step. I have no doubt that that Coach Mike will be able to do that.
Take it, own it, relive it, move on. Now, before we move on to our next segment here, Manny, before you continue,
put it up in the poster board in the locker room. Just
right,
everybody's performance. Figure it out.
Make sure everybody tap it on their way out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But before we move on, I do want to give a coach a shout out. I want to shout out Coach Matt over there at DMV Bombers this week. Yes, he did get another loss. Yes, he's 0-5. But ladies and gentlemen, he has eclipsed 100 points on the season for the first time. And not only has it eclipsed 100 points, he put up 130. 130. That was 3 points off, taking down the previous champion from last season. He came to compete this week. He showed up. He had guys going into bye weeks. He had guys getting injured, and he buckled down and he went to go get players and bet on players to help him win this week. Help him compete this week. So a big pickup for him was Trey Sermon. He picked him up in a waiver wire when we all heard that Jonathan Taylor went down, and he came in and played phenomenal. He gave him 18 points straight off the waiver wire to help him compete. Then he went to go get Parkinson, the tight end for the Rams, off the waiver wire. Once again, he went to go get another guy that helped him, that gave him 12 points. But when it comes to tight end, 12 points is one of the highs on the season. So he really dug into his bag and went and got players that was going to give him that little bit of oomph to be able to compete.
Right.
Now, mind you, almost anybody else in the league, minus 2 teams, Coach Matt beats this week. Out of 10 teams, Coach Matt beat 7 of them. But hey, shout out Coach Matt.
Hey, Dub, I gotta ask you though, since we're on the topic, what does this tell you about Mills Mafia? What, in your opinion, what does this tell you about this squad right now?
I honestly think Mills Mafia didn't take this game seriously. And I know it's kind of crazy to say when they put up 133.
Because look at if you click on that game again, look at the kicker position for Mills Mafia. Look at that kicker position. Empty. Ghosted.
Empty.
Nothing.
Yes. He didn't think that Coach Matt could compete with him. So he didn't think he needed a kicker this week, since I believe his kicker was on a bye week this week or injured or something like that. And he was just like, you know what? I'm not going to waste bench position and move guys around. I'm going to just compete with the other guys that I have to try to get the win this week, since Coach Matt is, quote unquote, the punching bag of the league, he said.
And now listen, again, end of the day, you got your win. But this one certainly could have gotten you back. George Pickens only put up 5. If he catches a couple more balls in that game, we could have a different story right now.
Literally, the last throw that Justin Fields did before they had a turnover on down, they had to get the ball back, which the Cowboys ran out the clock at that time. He threw it to George Pickens, and it was like a 15-yard pass. If he caught, that's 1 point just for catching it. There's another point because he got 10 yards.
That's 1.5.
And that would have brought him. That would have brought him even closer to getting a win this week, and therefore the drive would have kept going. Who knows? Maybe Jordan Pickens catches another pass, and boom, Mills Mafia go down. So this is just not the serious This is not the championship team that went on a run last year that I remember of. Last
The
year,
locked in team.
regardless of who he was playing, he wouldn't have done anything like this. I don't know what's going on over there, or maybe he's getting lax or just letting up on the belt, letting up on the harness. I don't know what's going on, but coach needs to lock in. He just got lucky this week.
But like you said, big shout out, Coach Matt, starting to really turn things around here. So we'll certainly see more than likely a W start popping up in the name. And so now, talking about people going up and down and wins and losses, let's go ahead and look at these power rankings. A-Dub, go ahead and pull them up for us, please, sir. As you can see there, 1 through 10. God Bless America still stays on top, even though he did suffer a defeat. Nonetheless, stays on top. Again, the points for is a big time thing. 605. Mills Mafia at 620, though, but not the same records. So Comerica stays on top. Team Luck inching up closer and closer. He's at third. He's got 615. So just 5 points off of second place. Running back sitting at fourth. Coach Cam, once again, big time win. Close one. Still got the points, though. He's sitting at fifth. Shake and Bake at 6. Mo City Menace sitting at 7. But a lot of points for Mo City Menace to be at 7. They got 657 points for. That is the most points of the entire league. So we'll see if they're able to start turning things around there. Team Fabo, big time win, improves to 2-3. Smooth Criminal, 2-3 as well. And then once again, as we mentioned, Coach Team DMV Bombers, 0-5, but a nice performance this week. So we'll see if they're able to get things going later on in the season.
I did want to point out when it comes to these rankings, like I try to point out to you guys every week, please pay attention to how many points that you put up every week. If you play close attention, let's go to the bottom here in the rankings. You got number 9, Smooth Criminal with 625. Team Fabo at number 8 with 641. Mo City Menace at 7 with 657. Those 3 coaches alone, if we go by just points putting up, they're the top teams in the league. But they're at the bottom right now because of the record. Now, these coaches don't have to stress too much. All they got to do is try to figure out how to get enough wins to get into the playoffs because the points going to help them
gotta seal the
at
deal.
the end of the day.
Yep, just gotta seal the deal.
So you other coaches who are at the top right now, your record's good, you need to figure out how to keep winning and keep these coaches out. Because as the weeks go on, everybody's just going to keep putting up points. Unless you just catch a coach who has a bad week and you have a really good week that helps you catch up. But right now, these 3 coaches, when it comes to their scores, they almost running away from some of these coaches who are marked to be in the playoffs 1 through 6 right now. So if you want to be able to stay in that 1 through 6, you need to either have a better record at the end of it, or you need to get on your horses right now and start putting up points.
Yeah. I mean, and it makes the playoff picture that much more interesting because some of these teams that might barely skate into the playoffs, 7 through 9, hey, you could really find yourself, if you're 1 through 4, thinking, oh, this is a really tough matchup because they put up a lot of points. They got a good team. This is not just some team that barely made the playoffs just because they could squeak out a few wins. No, they put up points. They just got some bad breaks throughout the season. So surely one big thing to look at there, A-Dub.
Okay, yeah. You coaches just need to really lock in. That's all we say. It could come down to the wire. It's real close right now. Like I said, everything that's going on in this league, people are just beating up on each other. There's no dominant team. I know we have a 4-1 team, but as you can see, anybody can be beaten at any time, depending on the week that you catch them. So and then the rest of the league is 3-2 or 2-3. So we're talking about a
Mm-hmm.
1 game difference in
Yeah.
5 weeks, man. In 5 weeks, we have 8 teams that's either 3-2 or 2-3. So it's right there.
Right.
So you need to lock
Yeah.
in, make the right choices, get as many wins as you can, or put up as many points as you can in a loss. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
just
But
say
hey,
this. I'm gonna just say this right here,
okay.
man.
Okay.
I saw who is on that paper to come on this show.
Yeah.
I saw who's getting interviewed today, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not staying for that. I'm not doing it. I don't know about you, but when I read that name on the paper, that don't sound like a good time. And I don't want to offend him asking him a question that probably have him knocking in my door tonight. So you know what?
Are you
I'm gonna
leaving?
I'm gonna let you handle that. Cause me
I'll
personally,
solo dolo this?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right. We haven't had this happen before, but with that being said, sure, let's bring him out. Head coach of Smooth Criminal. Come on out. See what A double left. Coach,
All right, man.
appreciate you
What's up?
coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Is the shiesty needed?
Come on with your questions, man. Come on with it. I ain't got it all
My
day.
fault. Okay, my bad. This is not gonna make you happy. So you're coming off like a really close 6-point loss. 31 points left on the bench by Mooney. Just like kind of tell me like how you're feeling about the lineup and anything that you would have changed. Or is this just like, hey, a bad game? Mooney went off for once in the blue moon.
Look here. I'm just say I made the wrong call. I did. I can own up to that. I ain't like these other lame coaches in the league that got excuses. Know what I mean? I should have played him. I had the thoughts of it weekend before it happened, but I decided not to. I decided to go with Scary Terry. But you know what? It is what it is. We move on. You should move on too.
My fault. I will. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're 2-3. How do you really help this team perform? You know, is it more pressure? Is it just making the right decisions? And do you think your team is better than the record that currently has?
Hell yeah, my team better than 2-3. If you paying attention, which you should be, you will honor us. You should see that this is not the only week that it came down to Monday Night Football for my team to compete and ended up losing. You know what I mean? So if you go back and I make the right decisions, it's the beginning of the season. We still working through some things, some injuries, finding the right pieces. If I make the right decisions, I'm 4-1 on the season. 3 doesn't say too much about what this organization is. We have a hell of a roster, hell of a team, guys that can fly around and do what they can do. You know, just give us some time to find the right glue to put together, and we're gonna make some shit happen for sure.
Right. Again, I guess this leads perfectly into the next question. How confident are you in your roster and your coaching staff to be able to turn things around?
So what's your question, man? What I got going on with my organization? Of course, I
My
believe
fault.
in my guys. I drafted them. I put the team together. I put the money on the line. So why would I not? That's a dumbass question, bro. Ask me another question, bro. Move
My
on,
fault.
bro.
My fault. I
That's just
appreciate
stupid.
it with these
Why am
questions.
I on here,
That's my
bro?
fault. My fault. You know, at 2-3, you're still very much in the playoff hunt. So, what do you think? What's the keys to really getting into that playoff push?
Dominate. Dominate. Once we come off these bye weeks, Cooper Cup coming off a bye week this week, week 6. Once we go into week 7, we get him back, but we lose CD Lamb. But once week 8 come, and we got that three-headed dragon, CD Lamb, Mike Evans, and Cooper Cup back from injury in the bye week, that's when we hit the ground running right there. That's when we turn up the season and start dominating, because that's when most of our major pieces are done with their bye weeks. That's the thing that I did when it comes to drafting. I made sure I got guys who bye weeks was early when people were still trying to figure out the glue. I need people who can consistently play week in and week week out once we get to the middle of the season, and that's when I got. So trust me, once we find that win, it's over with.
This is the first time we've ever had you on the show, and this might be
Yeah,
the first time coaches have really been able to hear you speak.
might be the
Do
last.
you have a message to the rest of the organizations in the league?
The fuck in, because I'm coming. Best believe, week in and week out, you're going to come out here, you're going to battle. We still figuring it out. But I don't know about if you notice, we ain't put up less than 100 points yet this season, unlike some of you rookie coaches out here. Some of you coaches out here making wrong decisions. Even in the loss, we still going up 100 points every week. So best believe you better come with your A game. Because now on, like I said, it ain't nothing but dominance around here. And that's just straight to it.
Smooth criminal. I think that's a great quote to the rest of the organizations. You better come, And so we really appreciate you being here. We really appreciate your time. I would really appreciate to get A-Dub back. So I think we got to let you go for now. But hey, good luck rest of the season. I'm sorry for my stupid ass question.
You know what? And you make sure you tell that other analyst as he running from me that I'm looking for him. And I get everything
Okay.
that I want. So make sure that he
Okay.
know. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna take his hat with me. You feel me? Since he wanna run,
Okay.
he tell him he can't get this back. He can't
Okay.
get this back.
Yeah.
This
No,
this
I'll
mine's now. All right.
I'll I'll communicate that with him. Thank you so much, Smooth Criminal. I really appreciate that. You don't know. A-Dub, are you safe? A-Dub, yo.
Boy,
I get why you
I
left.
just
I
I
really
just hey,
do.
I
Yeah,
tried to tell you.
I get that.
I tried to
Um,
tell you. I
yeah,
just watched that shit from the bleachers from afar, and I was scared for you. I told you don't be asking the wrong questions. You made it out. You got lucky,
yeah,
but
yeah. I think barely with my
I
life.
don't
I think barely.
I don't think
Yeah.
we should bring him back. I don't know.
He wanted me to let you know he's keeping that dumbass hat. It's his now.
All right.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
can
He took
have it.
it.
I'm not even
He
gonna
took
fight.
it.
I don't want to say nothing that he
I
gonna
I
see later.
I wouldn't fight him for it either. I would if it was even if it was my team hat. I'd say you got it. That's my bad.
Tell him he
That's my
could
fault.
keep it.
Yeah.
Fucking
Let's go
thugs.
ahead. Let's keep going. All right. Let's talk about next week in the fantasy league, or more appropriate, this week in the fantasy league coming up. As we have a lot of very, very interesting games, a lot of games that we want to highlight, which is our
Mm-hmm.
matchups of the week. And now, just to give you a little pretext, I'm sitting at 4-2, A-Dub 3-3, both sitting above 500.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're
Yes, sir.
we're picking some good games, and we're picking some good winners. Picking some good winners. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at it, please, A-Dub. All righty. So
Got some matchups for this week.
we certainly do have some matchups for the week. Smooth Criminal taking on Team Fabo. Mo City Menace taking on Mills Mafia. Team Fuck 'em taking on Run It Back. Shake and Bake taking on DMV Bombers. And then finally, Team Luck taking on God Bless Comerica. Man, oh man. You know what? I'll go on a limb here. I think my first one, I think my game of the week.
Talk to me.
I highlighted him last week,
Mm.
and I'm gonna do it here again. I'm gonna go Team Luck versus God Bless Comerica.
Okay.
But I'm not taking Luck on this one. I'm taking Coach Mike to bounce back and to get to
Okay.
5-1 on the season. I'm gonna take God Bless Comerica in this one, partially because I don't have the hype speech from Coach Luck. But either way, this is my game of the week. I like Mike in this one.
That's a surprising one. I'm not gonna lie. These are very two competitive coaches, week in and week out. So I don't blame you picking this game of the week, and I honestly don't blame you picking. God bless America. I love Coach Luck, but with St. Brown coming back and nobody else going on a bye week and ready to go,
Yeah.
it's prime for
Shout
him
out
to
Young Ho.
have a game.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna go a different route
What you got,
with
A-Dub? Talk to me.
my game of the week. Like I said, this season has been hella competitive. So any game could be game of the week, honestly.
Very
But a
true.
game that
Very
I
true.
will
Yep.
say that I am gonna be paying attention to is Team Fuck'em versus running back. I'm gonna pay
Okay.
attention to this game entirely because Tyreek Hill is on the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if
Mm-hmm.
Malik Neighbors is coming back this week. We don't know if Devontae
Right.
Smith is coming
Right.
back this week. Travis Kelsey's on a bye week. Jay Gibbs Kicker's on a bye week. This game
Woo.
is full of both of these coaches having to pivot. They're going to have to
They got to
show
adapt.
that
Yeah.
they're the type of coach that could get a win even when it's ugly. Because right now they're
Yeah.
missing a lot of key players to injuries or bye weeks, and they're going to have to go towards that bench that they have and put guys in places or maybe even go into the portal and grab some guys again and put them in so they could try to get the win this week. And
Right.
honestly, I'm riding with Coach Cam again this week. He got me a win last week.
Ooh.
He gonna give me
Okay.
another win this week. Give me Coach
All
Cam
right.
for my game of the week.
I like it. I like it. Now, we talk about games of the week, and our next category could very well end up being a game of the week, but it is our upset alert, A-Dub, and I got one in mind already.
Okay, talk to me.
Now, when you look at the numbers, you might not say it looks too much like an upset, but
Okay.
I got Mo City Menace taking down Mills Mafia this week. And again, Mo City Menace putting up plenty of points, but they sit at 2-3. They've had some tough goes, and I think they're ready to get their lick back. I think they're ready to go, and I'm gonna take Coach Preach in this one for the upset to make them both 3-3, but obviously with the points for and things like that. Mo City Menace, Coach Preach could really jump pretty much all the way to the top, depending on how the rest of the week goes.
Yeah, it's a different type of conversation when it comes to Coach Preach, like we always bring up. Don't pay attention to his record. He's a hell of a competitive coach that put up high points. He just met other coaches who had good weeks that put up higher points that week. But any other coach in the league, given those weeks, he's beaten. So I really like your choice here, especially since Mills Mafia just came off a win, but a lazy win. Now, are they going to be able to bounce back this week, readjust their mindsets, and come from we're not going to take this serious to take this coach serious so easily? As we've seen in sports history, it's kind of hard to do that. And those be the type of games that you lose. You win against teams that you're supposed to win against, but then you lose against teams, that you're supposed to win against. So I really like this pick right here. For my upset of the week, I've been riding with him all season, and I sound like a broken record when it comes to him, but Manny, I believe in the kid. I've seen what he is possibly able to do in the fantasy leagues over the years. He's been coming back, and it's just been unfortunate for him how the season is going because of injuries. But last week he showed that through it all, he can get it done and put up points. Let's go ahead and go down here with Team DMV Bombers versus Shake and Bake. Give me Team DMV Bombers, Coach Matt, to come in and upset Team Shake and Bake
win
this
of the
week.
Season. Oh my goodness. That would certainly be the one.
I think now is the time for him, especially against Team MV, who has yet to put up high points just yet. Just been having everybody come down to their level and competing to see if he could win or not, and slowly just increasing his points to the point where they just get enough to get a win or just not get enough, just like last week against Coach Cam. With Coach Matt coming off of 130, if he could replicate that, Coach MB hasn't shown that he could do that. So that's Coach Matt first win of the season. So I'm riding for it. Let's manifest it, baby.
I like that, man. Again, you're gonna have to tune in next week on when we post our next episode. You're gonna have to tune in to really see, hey, did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Are we locked in? Are we not? Are the coaches locked in or not? You got to keep tuning in now. Now let's take this outside of the fantasy world just a little bit, and it's for the game that we love. Okay.
Let me cut you right there. Before we hop in to the NFL, let's have a quick conversation about a major game going on this weekend, this Saturday, in Dallas, Texas, at the Cotton Bowl. You got the University of Texas, the real UT Longhorns, number 1 in the country, versus measly Oklahoma.
Wait. What ranking in the country?
Hold on. My bad.
I didn't hear you. No, can you say that one more time?
What is number 1 in the country? Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
No.
Number 1.
No.
And
number 1.
If I do say so myself, the only undefeated team left in the SEC, baby. Ooh. Come on!
Ooh. Come on now. They said we wasn't ready. They said the Longhorns weren't ready for real football in the SEC. Only undefeated team. Undefeated team. Hey, you can't overlook this one. You can't overlook this one. Big time game. Here's one thing I will say about the Red River rivalry. Record does not matter. Ranking does not matter.
It does
year
not.
in and year out. You circle this game on your calendar because you know that it is ready to set off at any moment. It doesn't matter who's on top. It doesn't matter if somebody's number 1. It doesn't matter if somebody's coming off a national championship. This game means everything to both fan bases because this gives you that eternal bragging right to the next year. And look, since Quinn Ewers has been here, he won 1, and that was a 49-0 bomb for the Longhorns and lost 1. Now we're coming in here to year 3, and it's time to rock. So
come on, man.
2:30 on ABC.
Come on, man.
Dallas, Texas, at the Cotton Bowl, the Texas State Fair.
Come on, man.
It will be 50-50 split in the Cotton Bowl. Crimson red and burnt orange. You don't want to miss that. The number 1 Texas Longhorns going up against the number 18 Oklahoma Sooners. It will be a shootout for the ages. So I appreciate you giving me that time to talk about that. Talk about the Longhorns, man. This one is huge.
It's the biggest rivalry out there, if you ask me. You know what I mean? It's not too many other games that bring up the amount of animosity, the amount of fans, the amount of school spirit when it comes to rivalry games in football than OU versus the Longhorns in the red rivalry. You know what I mean? It's a hell of a game every week.
When you driving up to Dallas, the Texas Department of Highway Safety has signs that say, hey, slow down. You're already in Texas. They're talking about the game too. This is so much more than just a football game. This encapsulates the entire state of Texas year in and year out. And again, like you talked about, a lot on the line. So, hey, our campus right now is buzzing.
Ooh, I wish I was there. Man. Ooh. Just for that, though. Nonetheless, else. I'm tired of school.
Nonetheless, for the game that we love so very much, for the game that we'll probably see a lot of these prospects that play on Saturdays end up on Sundays, it's the NFL. We got some key games for you to look out for on a Thursday night, on a Sunday, and then finally further down on that Sunday. So, hey, Dub, first game we're going to highlight Thursday night football. These Thursday night games have been pretty good. I'm not
I'm
going to
not
lie to
gonna
you.
lie.
They've
The
started coming
NFL
out
been cooking.
with some bangers.
The NFL is cooking right now.
49ers and Seahawks. 49ers just coming off of a loss to the Cardinals. Big time shock. Big time shock.
Big
But
time.
the Seahawks also coming off a loss to the G-Men, the Giants of New York. So both
Also
teams
shocking.
looking for a win. A-Dub, who do you got in this one?
Honestly, these are the type of teams right now, it's 50-50. Either they own or they not.
Mm.
I'm going to just go with the 49ers this week, honestly.
Okay.
Not too confident about it because they have to travel to Seattle and play in Seattle, the 12-man stadium. And we all know how crazy that can
Still
get.
loud. Still rocking.
But
Yep.
the Giants was able to go and beat Seattle with no Malik Neighbors.
In Seattle.
And I cannot overlook that. I cannot. Not when they have Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuels, who could equal out, be just as dangerous as Malik Neighbors. And they didn't even have to play Malik Neighbors last week. So I'm going to take the 49ers this week to get the dub.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to go opposite of you for the simple fact that, again, this is the 12th man. It is going to be very, very loud in that stadium, specifically because this is a West Coast matchup. These two teams are right on top of each other, essentially just a few states away or a few miles away. So I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. I think they kind of snap out that loss to the Giants. They got slapped in the mouth. They don't like the taste of it. And they understand that this is a conference matchup, and they gotta put it on if they want to find themselves in the postseason. So I'll take the Seahawks. You take the 49ers. We will be tuned into that one on Thursday night. Our next game that we highlight, we talked about it before. Jaden Daniels, the young dynamic quarterback in Washington, taking on two-time MVP league winner and fellow dynamic quarterback Lamar Jackson and the Ravens on Sunday at 12 Central, 1 Eastern. Hey, Doug, talk to me, man. Who do you got? Because big-time game against the Bengals, and if realistically, if the Bengals hit a field goal, they win that game.
They win that game.
If Derrick Henry doesn't run them down to the 5 in overtime, it could be a very different story right now. So Ravens kind of squeak by with one in Cincinnati, but the Commanders starting to really put it together right now. Who do you got?
I'm going to ride with the Commanders this week, Manny.
Okay.
It's just something about Jaden Daniels. You just can't ignore it. He's a superstar. He's literally taking over the league as we speak, and he's just a rookie. The first 4 games, he has completed the best percentage in the first 4 games of any quarterback in the NFL history. Any. Therefore, this kid is balling out, making plays, and getting stuff done in the league and in fantasy. And once again, he has to walk into Baltimore against the Ravens. And we all know when it comes to these superstar players, those be the type of games they love the most. Walk in your trap, take over your trap, and I'm going to walk out here with the keys to the door. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go around with Jaden Daniels to go in. It's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think Jaden Daniels and them pull it out. So I'm going with the Commanders.
Okay. Hey, listen, if this was 2 or 3 years down the line, I'd go with you and I'd say Commanders here. But I think playing in Baltimore is tough as it is. I mean, it is really what I believe is to be a black hole, especially when everybody's in either their black or purple jerseys. It can be very intimidating, and I think that might get to him just a little bit, not to mention that the Ravens do have a very, very good defense. They just went up against a very talented Cincinnati team. So I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I think Lamar Jackson is able to outduel Daniels just a little bit more. But again, if this is 2 or 3 years down the line, it's a much more difficult decision to make because he's starting to get that experience. Jaden Daniels is, but I'll take the Ravens nonetheless. And then a game that has really
Hey.
highlighted a rivalry for a past few years.
Hey.
There was a big one last year
Yep,
that
yep,
came
yep,
down to the
yep,
wire.
yep, yep.
There was one a few playoff games back,
Mm-hmm.
a few years back in a playoff game, and now once again they meet. The Lions take on the Cowboys in Jerry's World
Mm-hmm.
Sunday at 3:25. Uh, this one getting interesting because the Cowboys just came off of a gutty. It was ugly,
It was
but
ugly.
it was a win in Steeler territory. And the Lions, I mean, they're the Lions. Jared Goff just went 18 for 18 not too long ago, putting up big time performances. Who do you got?
I'm a huge fan and a big believer in history repeating itself. It's just human nature.
Hmm.
It's just stuff that naturally just happens. You thinking that you're creating something new, and it's just a representation of something that's already existed. You know what I mean? And I think the same way when it comes to sports, it's either you got it or you don't. And honestly, Manny, I don't know if you know, but
Yeah.
the last 5 meetings, the Dallas Cowboys has won every single game. Going back to
Ooh.
2016, Dallas 42, Lions
Yeah.
21. 2018,
Hmm.
Dallas 26, Lions 24. 2019,
Hmm.
Dallas 35, Lions 27.
Yes, sir.
2022, Dallas 24, Lions 6. Then just last season, on that close call, like
Yep.
you just said, it came down to a
Mm-hmm.
certain play in the ref's call. 20 points to
Yep.
the Dallas Cowboys, 19 to the Detroit Lions. Detroit has not figured out a way to try to get a win, whether they're going to Jerry's World or they're staying home in Detroit. They have not figured out a way to try to get a win against the Cowboys. So honestly, I'm gonna take the Detroit Lions this week. Give me Detroit Lions to go ahead and put that belt to ass that they long and ready been waiting to give to the Cowboys this week here in Jerry's World. Come on now. Cowboys always, and I'm talking about almost always freeze up whenever they get home in big time games. So give me the Detroit Lions to walk into Jerry's World and go home with a W in their belt.
Folks, this is a Packers fan. You know what I'm saying? Like no loyalty whatsoever. This is a Packers fan,
I'm riding
and
with
he's
my
rooting for the
NFC North
Lions.
brothers. I'm riding with my NFC
No,
North
don't call
brothers.
them
They
brothers.
not nah nah
No,
nah
because when
nah.
it comes to the
Whenever
league, it's
when,
like,
nah,
oh,
nah, nah.
rah
Whenever
rah.
we
Here
not
come the
competing
pack. Go
and
pack,
they playing against
go.
the
Oh,
Cowboys, I'm going
cheese.
with them. Anybody play the Cowboys, I'm gonna ride with them. Mm-hmm.
They just
Go
love to
ahead,
hate, man. They just love to
Aiden
hate.
Hutchinson, Aiden Hutchinson, 2 sacks.
Go ahead,
Montgomery.
go ahead and give me Dakota Rain Prescott
Nah,
taking
that's a
on
crazy name. That's
the
so crazy.
Lions.
That's so crazy.
And he's gonna get it. He's gonna get the dub. He shows why he is
There's no
consistently
bias.
a top 5 quarterback in the league. Last week with that final drive to win the game,
Top 5?
makes the right reads, makes the right throws. And hey, I just want to highlight when Dak fell on that football after the fumble at the 1 yard line, and he dove on that thing, not caring about his body or
Top 5
nothing.
is crazy.
You knew the Cowboys were going to win that game.
We knew
On the
nothing.
very next play, sure enough, they do.
We knew nothing.
So, with that being said, give me the Cowboys in Jerry's World. I think, again, hasn't been a stellar season, but the running game's certainly starting to get really active with Rico Dowdle getting more involved in the running game. And although Michael Parsons was out, DeMarcus Lawrence was out, there was still great defense being played. And give them that week of rest off, they're back in. So, give me the Cowboys. Give me Dak. Give me CeeDee Lamb taking on the Lions in this one. I got the Cowboys.
Top 5? Top 5? We not going top 5?
I'm not
Top
gonna be like,
5?
maybe 7, maybe 8. No, 5. Top 5.
Top five. You can't name five better quarterbacks than Dak Prescott in the league right now. That's what you telling me? You can't name
No.
five?
Yes. No.
So we say Prescott is at five or he's in five?
He's in the 5, wherever you want
No,
to
he's
place
not.
him.
No,
You
he's
want to put
not.
him at
Let
5?
me
That's
let me
fine.
go ahead. Let me go ahead and get you some names. Lamar Jackson, he's not better than him. Pat Mahomes, he is not better than him. Josh Allen, he's not better than him. Let me get you CJ Stroud, he's not better than him.
See how he
Let me
stopped?
get you. No.
Oh my God! Yes,
I'm
he
just naming
is.
guys. I'm naming guys that's just better than him. He's not better than. He's not better than Jordan Love. He's not better than Joe Burrow. Oh, that's six guys right there already.
All right, y'all. Hey, man.
That's six.
Appreciate
That's
you
six
guys
guys
tuning
already.
in this
You know
week.
what I'm saying?
It's
That's just so
fantastic
crazy.
to have you.
He's insane.
Once
y'all.
again,
He
if
don't
this
know.
catches up on your TikTok,
He's a
man,
Cowboys
comment,
fan.
let us know. Ask
He
us
don't
any kind of
really
questions to kind of
understand
help
ball
out.
for real.
He said Jordan Love. He said Jordan
Love.
Love,
Jordan
bro.
fucking Love.
What?
Jordan Love. Come on, bro.
You want to talk about? He's wearing green colored glasses, bro.
Hey,
Go eat some cheese. Go eat some cheese. Go figure it out.
Appreciate y'all tuning in for another show here. Like my man Manny just said, my partner in crime. We appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what I mean? We got tapes coming to you for the rest of the season, what's going on in the fantasy leagues. We love to share it with you guys. We love that y'all love to hear it and get some insight to go ahead and put on with y'all other teams. You know, we're going to continue to drop clips. We're going to continue to drop videos. Just stay tuned. Make sure you hit that notification button so you don't miss anything. But we're going to sign out right here from you guys.